In the case of the Van Gogh Harvest painting, it's a landscape and it's composed in horizontal bands. If you almost imagine that Van Gogh turns vertically, then you kind of get a sense of what I'm doing and the way that I played around with it in a very different way. This is the first painting in the exhibition Horizons, which is at Dulles Contemporary, and it has these very sort of simple elements, and I think ultimately the thing that interests me about it is the way that I started to allow the painting to mimic the drips in the can. And by doing that I realised that it was actually the dripping in the moment where the paint moves. It was that aspect of it that was the most interesting for me.
So there is really a serious link between here and kind of the...
Absolutely, I felt there was some unfinished business. This piece is made specially for Dallas Contemporary and actually made for this wall, really. It's been quite carefully planned. I found a way of applying paint in these vertical bands and running them together to create these quite complex structures, but also there's a very dynamic element to the painting where the liquid paint is allowed to kind of pool and flood onto the floors.
How much time is actually spent going from the base or the foundation color to ultimately projecting what the final band would be?
So I made a number of colour studies, probably in this case about 4 or 5, and then I started to take sections of those and sort of splice them together on a computer. So I have a sort of an overall sense of what that painting's going to look like. And then from that computer program I'm able to sort of then approach making a bigger work.
This is from the Swatch Pavilion in Venice. I mean, for me, ultimately, this was, I think, the biggest Instagram location, the whole Biennale.
Yeah. In relation to Dallas, I think what's very good is that I was then able to come here and think about how the painting might work in another space and how it might then be the cornerstone for this exhibition. It's a Texan scale painting, isn't it? I mean, we are in the kind of land where everything is supersized, so it is, that monumentality, I think, is embraced. Some of the other paintings in the exhibition explore scale, but explore light and the way that light might work and colour might work. So a painting on the other side of the room is almost to offset this Venice painting, and the colours are taken from a still life by Bruegel the Younger. The centre of the painting was very, very light and had all these white flowers, was something that I'm able to convey in my piece. And it's quite a joyful thing to do and fun and quite playful because, first of all, I'm sort of getting to understand another artist's work, but also kind of making something of my own. There has to be a bit of a journey between the original artwork and then what I end up with, and that's really when I feel that I've made something that's successful.